Why does getting married today feel harder than going through a whole Ramadan without someone asking you, not even water?
You spend so much time on these so-called halal marriage apps, swiping left and right, or attending community matchmaking events, hoping to find someone compatible. And when you finally do meet someone, you talk for weeks on end, only to be ghosted for some reason you'll never know. One moment you're discussing dream holidays, the next, they've vanished like a magician's disappearing act. And if you're one of the lucky ones who actually make it past this stage, you're greeted with the impending doom of wedding planning. By the time you've added up the venue, the catering, the clothes, the photography, and that random smoke machine everyone seems to have, it feels less like a wedding and more like a full-blown Bollywood movie shoot. What happened to us? In the Prophet's time, marriage was easy. The community supported marriage. Families, elders, even the Prophet, peace be upon him himself, would actively help people get married. And the wedding itself was simple. The wedding stage design was probably the floor of a simple home. And the playlist? Probably the sound of people making dua. You'd have a small gathering with some food, and you're done, ready to start the next chapter of your lives. No grand hall, no choreographed dance entrance, no 500 guest seating plan, just plain simplicity. That's all that was needed because the focus wasn't on likes and views, it was on building an honest relationship based on taqwa. But today, everything is extra, and expectations are sky high. You must have the most expensive outfits, the loudest cars, the coolest entrances, all while knowing that the guests will still complain. Picture Medina, 1400 years ago. There was a companion named Julabib. He had no wealth, no family, and wasn't considered attractive by society's standards. Yet he was known for his faith, good character, and closeness to the Prophet. One day, the Prophet encouraged him to get married and approached a family on his behalf. Although at first they were against the idea, eventually they agreed to marry their daughter to him, despite his lack of wealth or status, because his religion and character were so strong. Now fast forward to today, when a young Muslim wants to marry, he's told he needs a 6-figure salary, a 4-bedroom house, a Tesla, and a side hustle in crypto just to get a meeting with someone's parents. How much do you earn? Do you own a house? What car do you drive? Religion and character don't even make the list. And let's be real, money is important in marriage. You need to provide, you need stability for sure. But instead of balancing, we've gone to extremes. Behind the veil of responsibility or wanting what's best, we're competing, flexing, and proving our status. Families are at war with one another to throw the biggest and flashiest event. If they did it, we have to do it better. No wonder people are finding it so hard to get married. Young people are scared and parents are stressed as the whole ordeal is terrifying. A lot of people don't have the money needed to keep up with the expectations. People are struggling as it is, and when you add a bill large enough to finance a small nation to their calendar, they might crumble. So what can we do? How do we make things easier for ourselves and get back on the path of the Sunnah? Let's look at a few ways we can start. First, reset expectations. Yes, money does matter and financial responsibilities are real, but it doesn't need to be excessive. Our parents and grandparents didn't have much, often staying in small houses with extended family. But they made it work because although their bank balances may have been small, their hearts were big. Second, simplify weddings. Make them about barakah and not about social media. The Prophet said, the most blessed marriage is the one with the least expense. So go against expectation. There is nothing wrong with having a small nikah in a mosque for your closest friends and family. In fact, it's better for you. Third, prioritize deen and character. The Prophet said, if someone with good religion and character comes to you, marry them. This applies to both the men and the women. It doesn't mean to ignore all other aspects of a person, but make their deen and character the forefront of any decision you make. Fourth, getting married is hard, and finding the right person without falling into sin is difficult. So let's rebuild communities that support one another, communities that make introductions and actively facilitate those looking to marry. If we can do all these things and return to the Prophet's example of simplicity and sincerity, then maybe marriage will stop feeling like climbing Mount Everest and start feeling like what it truly is, a gift from Allah and a beautiful beginning. If you want to help make marriage easier for everyone and see more videos like these, hit like and subscribe so we can grow a community that actually supports each other.